YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War, Warhammer. And I've got a couple of things for you. First, before we actually go into the actual battle, there was another double Luminarch submission by the same guy, Iconic Universe here, and he says that he gets some pretty funny kills, so I couldn't resist. So yeah, this may not be the actual battle, but I love seeing Luminarch kills, and I don't know about you all, but it's particularly funny when it's the vampires. I don't know why that is, but it just is. So let's watch this. The Empire player, same type of build, spears, flagellants, General of the Empire, this time on a Pegasus to save some money, Templehof Luminarch, Jade Wizard, Light Wizard, Royal Altdorf Griffites. Let's watch what happens. The vampires don't want to come out of the forest. Apparently these are the Edward type vampires that like running around the forest of the Pacific Northwest looking for teenage girls to woo. So in any case, that's what they're doing. Let's see what they got over here. Ooh, that'd be a fun target. Mortis Engine. Helmund Gorst on a corpse cart. You better believe that's a fun target. And it almost looks like that's what the Empire General is doing. He's just like the artillery spotter. He's like, hey, fire over here. So let's see what happens. And the vampires don't have anything in the air to slow down the spotting for the captain. There is some pretty significant anti-large. Helmund Gorst is an interesting choice. It's an odd choice. Graveguard is some pretty heavy infantry for the vampires to bring. However, Graveguard will stack up nicely against flagellants. Ooh. Oh! That Luminarch. Not super bad. Mortis Engine just took half its life. Or lost half its life there. And then Dire Pack is trying to get to these guys, and I'm sure the Blood Knights will come soon too. The Griffites and the Captain are gonna, or the General are gonna chase that off. Ooh, here comes the net. I think he's got line of sight over this little hill. You have to babysit Luminarchs a lot, actually, because they glitch out a lot when they try and fire. So another hit on the Blood Knights. Nothing crazy, but it's doing damage. Now it's getting pretty severe. And the rest of the vampire units walked right into the nets, but the nets are over anyway. So the General of the Empire is going to have to fight to get out of here. You get stuck pretty easy on a Pegasus, but the Dire Pack is gone. The Blood Knights have taken some pretty decent damage and forced an invocation of Nahak. And it looks like the Blood Knights want to engage, but a net's going to keep them engaging from over here. And let's see what happens here. Waiting for okay, the Luminarchs are targeting Helmund Gorst back here. Oh, and Helmund is right next to the Luminarch, or the freaking Mortis Engine, so this could be a 2-for-1. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a 2-for-1! Holy crap! I can only think of Halo, like when you shoot a sniper rifle and you hit two guys in the head with one bullet. That's what that was right there. That might be a first. I might have to submit that one to Total War. A 2-for-1 shot. If you're the vampire right now, you just have to be in tears, like absolute tears right now. The Griffites are trying to get back to support the Luminarchs, who are attempting to charge up more shots. And it looks like they're about to actually shoot. This could be a good shot, point blank like that. Yeah, it was a pretty good shot. The Invocation of the Heck is the only reason those Blood Knights have that many units. The Dire Pack's going to get past. One of these units is going to get to the Luminarchs. But that was a brutal shot, taking down a Mortis Engine and Helmund Gorst all at the same time. The Altdorf Griffites get a clean charge on the Blood Knights. And then over here, the Empire General should be able to save the Luminarchs. Oh, good grief. Look at that Light Wizard. He's like all beat up from overcasting. So it's a pretty brutal engagement. The Griffites are going to try and get away because there's spear support there. That is actually quite hilarious. There's still a lot of infantry here, though, that the Empire is not going to be able to easily kill. But that 2-for-1, though. Ooh. Whoa. This might be my favorite Luminarch replay ever. Look at that, 126 kills from that shot. The vampires are desperately attempting to get rid of the Luminarchs. And boy, do they need to. If they lose the rest of this Dire Pack, though, and the Blood Knights, yeah, they are not catching those Luminarchs at this point. There will be no catching the Luminarchs. So this is going to be a shooting gallery for what remains, and hit your own men or not hit your own men. I don't even think it really matters at this point for the Empire. They should be able to crumble the vampires. Let's watch back here. See if the Luminarchs are going to get some more shots in. That was brutal, this one right here into the flank. Just look at that big, like, nuclear crater there that took out all those vampires. Yeah, they're starting to be crumbling now, and a good hit from the Luminarch and some charges from the Griffites and the General should be able to cause the mass rout. Oh. That's absurd. Absurdly hilarious. Yeah, it looks like he's babysitting the Luminarchs a bit back here, trying to get them to fire. Like I said, they get pretty glitchy. That is one major downside to Luminarchs beyond just their cost, is they are extremely glitchy. Like you can see, this one is obstructed. That one's obstructed. They need to come around the flank if they were going to actually get another shot. Come around this flank, and taking a crossways shot across this would be brutal. Absolutely brutal. But it looks like the Empire is kind of getting this under control. Over here, there's a lot of Vampire crumbling. Yeah, the Luminarchs actually have a target here if they want to aim at it, but they're still aiming at the blob. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna fast forward and see if the Luminarchs go around and try and get an open shot. They're still obstructed. Let's fast forward again. I just want to see more Luminarch destruction. Where are we at? 174 kills on the Luminarch of Hysh. They're gonna drop a net there. They should have a pretty open shot right into this blob right here. Let's watch. Come on, Luminarchs, make me happy. They're getting chased by a spear unit over here, which I don't think will matter too much. I just want them to get a shot. I don't know if they can get a shot while they're being chased by this spear unit. Yeah, this one's charging. If they're on defensive mode, they could probably get a shot. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Those Vampire Infantry, though. 68 kills. So that was like 50-something kills in the one shot, and about 10 or 15 more in that one. So it's going to be a pretty hilarious Empire victory here. That 2-for-1 and then the other Luminarch shots. Was this replay not entertaining? I thought that was entertaining. Thank you very much for the person who submitted it, and Vampire Player, we don't mean any offense to you, but thank you for providing that 2-for-1. That was amazingly fun to watch, so thank you, Iconic Universe. But yeah, now we'll move on to the actual replay that someone wanted me to watch, and I believe, was it... No, is this... Yeah, this one right here. I think Hero of Rome submitted it. Wanted me to check out this Empire versus Bretonnia matchup here, which should be interesting. Faye Enchantress, being the Mortis engine she is a huge pain in the butt. Bretonnia should have a cavalry advantage, mostly, over the Empire. We've got a General of the Empire, an Empire Captain up front leading the infantry, which I like. It's a good way to put some extra tankiness into the build. He's on foot, which I also like. Hammer of Witches could do some pretty stern damage to Bretonnian units, especially cavalry. Grail Guardians would be a beautiful target for the Hammer of Witches, as would the Pegasus Knights. There is a mounted yeoman back here. The melee version. Don't see these guys often. Excuse me. Had to sneeze that one out, folks. So yeah, let's just check it out. The Empire Infantry is just swordsmen up front, spears in the second line. You got a Lore of Beast, Amber Wizard here, Reichsguard, Demigryphs with halberds, 2 crossbows, and a Silver Bullets. Silver Bullets can certainly be a solid pick versus Grail Knights and Grail Guardians because they deal magical damage. The Empire player will have to watch out for the mounted yeoman getting a cheeky rear charge. Look at that damage. The Grail Guardian's such an expensive unit, and these guys cannot be resurrected either. They can be healed, but right now they're turning their side to the cannon. That's a mistake. You never want to turn your side to that cannon, because if a ball comes through, it's going to plow a whole bunch more of your men. So never turn your flank to the cannon like that. You're better to just go headlong towards it. I'm surprised that the Hammer of Witches didn't take another shot there while that thing was turned sideways. They could have gotten a devastating hit. So let's see what happens up front. We got Foot Squires, which should do well. Battle Pilgrims should do well, but not if they're going to get charged by Reichsguard. This is actually going to be pretty brutal, and I want to see it. Ooh, it was brutal. Hey, does anybody else kind of think that for a minute there that kind of looks like a Sheikah Tower from Breath of the Wild in the background here? Oh my gosh, I've been playing the crap out of that game recently. Breath of the Wild is probably the best game I have ever played. I don't think it's a good YouTube game, and Nintendo makes it really hard for you to record their stuff online, but oh my goodness, it's probably the best game I've ever played. So, it is really good. And that's saying something, because you all know how much I like Total War. That Empire Captain's in trouble, but he's getting support from the ground. If he can just last a little longer, he'll be alright. Here comes the Enchantress trying to get into the crossbows. The infantry fight, or here the Reiksguard getting engaged by Grail Guardians. The Grail Guardians won't do particularly well against Reiksguard. They'll last a long time, though, because they have the resistance. But they don't have armor piercing, which they need. Oh my gosh, that point-blank Hammer of Witches. So the Pegasus Knight's taking a beating. The Comet of Cassandora comes in, and it's from the Chalice of Potions ability, I should say, but it is the Comet. The silver bullets are gone, and now the Hammer of Witches is actually going to be under threat as well. Over here, though, a bit of a break. The Sigmar Sons have actually broken through some foot squires. Maybe that was the help of the Empire Captain. And the Bretonnian infantry over here actually in some pretty big trouble. The Enchantress taking a bit of a beating. She's getting support from Knights of the Realm. But those Knights of the Realm are charging in towards Demigryph Knights. And Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights are good against unarmored targets, not armored targets like the Demigryph Knights, whereas the Demigryph Knights are good against armored targets like Knights of the Realm. So something to be aware of. The Pegasus Knights do clean up the Hammer of Witches here. We've still got a Amber Wizard out here and a few crossbows. This fight over here is taking a little longer to wrap up than the Empire wants because of the presence of both the Fey Enchantress and the Grail Rally. Just by being around out here, the Enchantress is tearing apart some of the Empire infantry. The Demigryph Knights are chasing these Knights of the Realm and getting some damage done. The Empire Captain looks like he wants to go after the Fey on Silvara, but she is slippery. If there's a player who's good at dodging, she is difficult to catch on Silvara and like stupid slippery. Over here, it's not looking great for the Empire. This Unbreakable Sigmar Sons, though, is going to be good. This Bowman really ought to line up and fire into the back of Sigmar Sons to try and get rid of them faster since they're unbreakable. Instead, I'm not really sure what they're targeting. The Silver Bullets come back, the Hammer of Witches comes back, so some potential to get back on the artillery. And Knights of the Realm are gone. The Fey is caught by the General of the Empire, and that's going to cause some damage. Oh, beautiful. Amber Wizard dropping an upgraded Doomflock here, which is going to do a ton of damage to all the Bretonnian units here. So that was a really good play. He's going to lose that fight, but actually kind of turned it around there. Now the Sigmar Sun should be able to mop that up. Hammer of Witches came back just to be charged down by the Fey Enchantress. But the General of the Empire diving in, continuing to try and bring down the Fey. Bringing her down is going to be critical for victory. But if the Empire can make it to late game with just a few cavalry units, then they should be able to stop the Fey. I say that, though. She's faster than most of the Empire cavalry units. These Demigryph Knights with halberds are going to want to very much stay alive. There's some bows, and there's some Bretonnian cavalry. Ooh. That Chalice of Potions came in right on top of them, too. That was not exactly what the Empire wanted there. The Royal Pegasus Knights are getting Earthblood. Ooh, and they're going to get in here and take out the rest of these crossbows, but if they hadn't, the Grail Guardians would have, and the General of the Empire is smart to get out of here. Let the Demigryph Knights come in and do their work. That Hammer of Witches came back again. I don't know if the Bretonnian player is able to get to it at the moment, though. 157 kills on Sigmar Sons. Sons of Sigmar, indeed. And there was the last one. Fought to the death. Yeah, look at this. See how fast Silvaron is? Even though the General on the Pegasus is faster, he still has difficulty catching her, and see how she can run away through her own troops. And then she's going to have archer support back here as well. This is going to turn out to be a pretty epic ending. The Demigryph Knights, though, having a time back here. The Curse of Anraer. Not really sure where that came from or why. So, let's see. I guess it came from this Lore of Beast here. So, Flesh to Stone, getting some extra armor for a moment. On the Grail Guardians, that will certainly help them. The Empire Captain is swinging over too. That ought to keep the Demigryph Knights in the fight longer, and I think the Demigryph Knights definitely have the potential to tank this out. The Grail Guardians just don't have the armor piercing. Even though they're getting the extra armor defensively, they don't have the armor piercing. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the Empire Captain. That was the Amber Wizard, my bad. The Empire Captain's over here still. Help him mop up a few Bretonnian infantry. It's going to be a pretty close fight. The Reiksguard came back over here. They could be really handy to try and get to these bows. And the Fey Enchantress continuing to slip away and do damage with her Mortis Engine ability. She's got Earthblood going on as well. But, I mean, if she can't heal forever, she can kite a lot, which will slowly damage the General of the Empire, but he has potions as well. And then this Hammer of Witches, if it is just kind of patient, may have an opportunity. But they're still Peg Knights, and yeah, they're going to get wrecked. So, oh no. Yes. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, it would have been a big mistake by Bretonnia to let these guys back on the guns. They got wrecked. They got wrecked. And you know what Karl Franz has to say about them getting wrecked?
This action does not have my consent.
That's right. He did not give you consent to wreck the Hammer of Witches. All right. So let's see what's going to happen here. It's actually slightly in favor of Bretonnia here, supposedly, but these Pegasus Knights are getting dealt with by the General of the Empire. He's knocking them down one at a time here. There goes the last one, I think. He's just about out of it. So there goes the last Pegasus Knight. There's just a few Grail Guardians left. They're being fought by a weakened Amber Wizard who's going to be supported. And look at this. The Hammer of Witches back again. And then the Empire Captain is out here bashing down some peasant bows. I actually don't... I mean, unless the Fey Enchantress can Mortis Engine this out, I don't see how this goes in favor of Bretonnia. Now, the General of the Empire needs to take out these bows, but that's going to leave this Hammer of Witches open again. Their guns are way over here, so they're going to have to be patient if they want to get to their guns. And if the Bretonnian player just kind of parks right here, then the Hammer of Witches won't be able to get back to their guns. In fact, I think that's probably... The Fae maybe... She's either... Yeah, she's going to go for the Amber Wizard. It's probably the appropriate target at the moment. He's using Wisson's Wild Form, which gives extra armor and weapon damage. That was actually kind of a cool move. The bows are still alive, which is bad for the Empire. But the Fey Enchantress needs to be chased off. And there goes the slippery Fey. Fey the Slip Chantress, or whatever you want to call her. She is like a pig who's been wallowing in a mud hole. You just can't get a hold of her. So... Alright, she is going to stop and fight here. I don't know how close she is to... She's got Favor of the Fae, which is going to give her 58 melee attack too, so she's going to get some damage done. But if the General of the Empire still has his potion, he's in really good shape here, because he'll be tearing away at the Fae. I did not mean to rhyme that, no. Let's see what happens here. Does the General of the Empire have his... Ooh, if he doesn't have his potions, then this very well could be the end of it. And if he does have his potions, he is waiting to the bitter end to use them. I'm assuming he's already used it. We can check by going right here. Yeah, he's already used the potion. So the General of the Empire there got jumped on by the Fae and just about killed. The Amber Wizard's barely alive. There are a few bows left, and they're going to fire at the General. I think the Fae... The Fae is very quick, and she's headed straight out towards the edge of the map. We'll see what happens. The General of the Empire... These bows don't have a lot of ammo left. They got 4 more volleys. I don't think this particular infantry is going to be super useful against the General of the Empire. They're going to need some foot squires. Look at this. The Hammer of Witch is still here. And look, look, look. Here's the artillery pieces. So I don't know if the Bretonnian will notice this or not. The Fey Enchantress comes back, and so does the General of the Empire, and he's going to chase her down. She's going to have to run. She can't survive this engagement, I don't think. I mean, it would be close, but yeah, she's not going to survive. So the Fey Enchantress is going to get knocked out. Look at that. Even when she's routed, the Mist of the Lady is still in effect. That's crazy. So chasing her, you'll still get affected by the Mist of the Lady. And then look at this epic Empire Captain. After that fight to the last from the Sons of Sigmar, this Captain of the Empire is splattering Bretonnian peasants with his shield. Gold sword soaked in blood. And then the Hammer of Witches is actually about to get to its... Yeah, it's on its guns. I think they can only man 1 gun, though. Let's see if they get to use it. Yeah, so the Fae is gone. That should be the end of Bretonnia. Let's see if the Hammer of Witches gets 1 more shot. Do it. Do it. Shoot those peasants. Alright, here it comes. Hammer of Witches. Is he gonna do it? Oh, yeah. We at least got one peasant splattered there. That's going to be the end of Bretonnia. That was a pretty epic matchup. Appreciate the Hero of Rome sending that in, and then Thunderbird. Man, that was a fun game, buddy. Thanks for playing in it. Wow, that was a pretty good number of kills on the Grail Guardians, too. They ended up doing really well. That Empire Captain, though, talk about MVP. Between him and the Sigmar Sons, these guys were the true sons of Sigmar in this battle. That's pretty impressive. Some important work got done by the Demigryph Knights, so we can't undercut that. And then the Hammer of Witches was a fun unit to watch there. It didn't get a ton of kills, but still kind of played an interesting role in keeping Bretonnia busy several times trying to kill it. Do hope you all enjoyed this fun tonight. Some of you may be wondering, Air, where's the campaign at? Well, soon I'm going to start a Norsca campaign, so keep an eye out for that. So I just decided, since I lost the Beastman campaign and all my other save files, I was like, you know what, let's just wait for Norsca to come out. We'll get a fresh start, and then I'll try and finish those other campaigns if I get a chance before Warhammer 2 comes out. Obviously, I'll do my best if I can. Otherwise, I was just saying, hey, you know what, let's get some good online battles. But I'm excited for Norsca. I'll be playing as Wulfric. So you all get to see me play as Wulfric, and should be a lot of fun. I know some of you probably be surprised I'm not playing as the troll guy. You'll understand later on why I'm not playing as the troll guy. Anyway, appreciate MSI sponsoring the channel. They're fantastic, and I appreciate you being here every day and watching these videos. I love making them for you. Sorry I missed yesterday. It's just been a busy week. I had a very important meeting yesterday, or today actually. So last night I took a little downtime with Mrs. Air before the big meeting, just to kind of get relaxed and everything. So I do hope y'all are doing well, and I hope you enjoyed this. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.